Assalamu alaikum students. Here in this video we are going to begin with kingdom Animalia or the animal kingdom. Animals are multicellular organisms whose cells have no cell walls or chloroplasts. Most of the animals, they ingest solid food and they digest it internally. It has nine groups, or you can say 9 classes, or you can say 9 phyla, which are as follows. It has phylum Porifera, which consists of sponges, phylum Cnidaria, phylum Platyhelminthes or the flatworms, phylum Nematoda or the roundworms, phylum Annelida or the segmented worms, phylum Mollusca, which consists of snails, phylum Arthropoda, phylum Echinodermata, and the most important is phylum Cordetta. So we are going to study phylum Arthropoda and phylum Cordetta in detail in this video. So total 9 phyla make up the animal kingdom. Let's begin with phylum Arthropoda. Phylum Arthropoda consists of 4 subdivisions. They include the crustaceans, arachnids, insecta, and myriapods. So this name arthropod, it actually means jointed limbs, and this is a feature which is common to all of the arthropods. They also have a hard, firm exoskeleton which is called a cuticle, which encloses their bodies. Their bodies are segmented, and between the segments there are flexible joints which permit movement. In most arthropods, the segments are grouped together to form distinct regions: the head, thorax, and abdomen. Asia is the first class, which consists of 5 or more pairs of legs. The body is divided into cephalothorax and abdomen. 2 pairs of antennae are present, and the organisms belonging to this class have a pair of compound eyes as well. They have exoskeleton which is often calcified to form a hard carapace. Crabs and woodlouse, they belong to class Crustacea. Next is class Insecta. The characteristic features of organisms belonging to this class include 3 pairs of legs. Their body is divided into head, thorax, and abdomen. 1 pair of antennae is present. A pair of compound eyes is also present. Usually, the organisms which belong to class Insecta have 2 pairs of wings. All the insects in the world belong to class Insecta, like the bees, the flies, the dragonflies, the wasps, the honeybees, all insects. Next is class Arachnids. Organisms belonging in this class have 4 pairs of legs. Their body is divided into cephalothorax and abdomen. They have several pairs of compound eyes, simple eyes, not compound eyes, they have simple eyes. Then they have chelicerae for biting and poisoning the prey. These include the spiders, the scorpions, the mites, and the ticks. Their bodies, they are divided into 2 regions, which are the cephalothorax and the abdomen, and they have 4 pairs of limbs on the cephalothorax. They also have 2 pedipalps, which are there for the process of reproduction. Then class Myriapoda, the last class of phylum Arthropods. It includes those organisms which have 10 or more pairs of legs. Usually 1 pair of leg per segment is present. The body is not obviously divided into thorax and abdomen. 1 pair of antenna is there, and organisms belonging to this class have simple eyes. Centipedes and millipedes belong to myriapods. They have a head and a segmented body. and they have many legs, usually hundreds. Okay, so our next phylum is phylum Cordetta, which can be further subdivided into 5 classes: fish, amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals. One by one, we are going to discuss the characteristic features of all these 5 classes. Let's begin with fish. They are cold-blooded or poikilothermic vertebrates. They have smooth streamlined shapes which offers minimal resistance to the water through which they move. Their bodies are covered with overlapping scales and they have fins which play a part in the movement. Fish breathe by means of filamentous gills and they reproduce sexually, but fertilization usually takes place externally. The female lays eggs and the male sheds sperms on them after they have been laid. Amphibians, they are again cold-blooded or poikilothermic vertebrates with 4 limbs. Their bodies have no scales. The name amphibian, it means double life, and it refers to the fact that the organism spends part of its life in water and part of its life on land. They have 4 limbs, and the hind feet, they have a web of skin between the toes. Their skins are moist with good blood supply and they have lungs for breathing. The female lays eggs and the male sheds sperm, so fertilization in amphibia is external. Then come reptiles. They are land living vertebrates and their skins are dry. This dry scaly skin, it resists water loss. The eggs of most of the species, they have a tough parchment like shell. They are cold blooded or we can say poikilothermic. Apart from snakes, reptiles have 4 limbs, each with 5 toes. Male and female reptiles mate and sperms are passed into the female's body. The eggs are therefore fertilized internally before being laid. The birds, their epidermis or the skin is mostly covered by feathers, and these feathers they help the bird to fly or they form an insulating layer close to the skin. Birds have 4 limbs, 2 out of them are modified to form wings which help them to fly. The feet, they have 4 toes with claws which help the bird to perch, scratch for seeds or capture its prey. The upper and lower jaws are extended to form a beak which is used for feeding. In birds, the fertilization is internal and the female lays hard-shelled eggs in a nest where she incubates them. Birds are warm-blooded or we say homeothermic. Mammals are again warm-blooded vertebrates. They have a diaphragm which plays an important part in breathing. They also have mammary glands and they suckle their young on milk. Humans are mammals and all mammals give birth to fully formed young instead of laying eggs. They follow the sexual method of reproduction and fertilization is internal in the female's body. Some of the examples of fish include sharks, amphibians include frogs and toads, reptiles include lizards and snakes, birds includes parrots and sparrows, and mammals.